Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
I want to welcome you to the RCC's annual public hearing for programs and budget. This is our chance to share highlights for 2024 with you and to discuss the coming budgets. It's amazing, up to 2027. RCC Executive Director, Bibi Nguyen, and RCC Treasurer, Paul Thomas. Yeah. We'll go over our progress and plans and how they impact our budgets. After that, we will listen to you. And then the board will move the instructions to the staff regarding preparation for the 2027 budget. Before we do that, we want to share a short video with you that was shared last month with the CAPRA Reaccreditation Review team, as well as county leadership at the reaccreditation and the Lila Gordon Theater unveiling reception. Enjoy. Welcome to the Reston Community Center, where we are dedicated to creating positive leisure, cultural, and educational experiences that empower and uplift our entire community. At RCC, we believe in a world of possibilities. We offer an expansive range of programs in the arts, recreation, aquatics, and lifelong learning, ensuring there is something for everyone, regardless of age, background, or ability. We're not just a community center, we're a catalyst for connection. Through festivals, concerts, and collaborative events, we cultivate traditions that bring neighbors together, fostering the spirit of unity and collaboration. Equity is at the core of our mission. Guided by the One Fairfax policy, we prioritize the various needs of our patrons, ensuring everyone has the opportunity to thrive and reach their potential. Our facilities are designed with you in mind to be flexible, beautiful, and sustainable. By engaging the community in our planning process, we ensure our spaces reflect our collective values and aspirations while demonstrating our ongoing commitment to a greener future. Accessing our programs has never been easier. Our newly redesigned website features user-friendly navigation and instant translation tools, making RCC accessible to all. Debuting this summer is RCC on Wheels, bringing programs, events, and activities right to your neighborhood. Join us on this incredible journey at the Reston Community Center, where we inspire connection, creativity, and collaboration in every interaction. Engage in our popular events, like the Reston Multicultural Festival and summer concerts, and be inspired by any one of our 3 art galleries. Together, let's build a vibrant, inclusive, and sustainable community that we can all be proud of. Come and experience RCC, building community and enriching lives.
Welcome to RCC. I think there's a few new faces I see in the audience. So my name is Bibi Nguyen. I'm the Executive Director of RCC. Welcome to tonight's program and budget public hearing. for FY26 and FY27. So before I go into the calendar year 2024 highlights, strategic planning pillars and process, capital improvements and maintenance progress, I want to acknowledge my RCC team members who are with me tonight in the audience as well. We've gone through quite a lot together the past few months, and you guys have been a source of strength and support to me, so I want to acknowledge, and if you're here tonight, please stand up so our audience and our board can Thank you, team, because you've been along with me for this really cool ride with the rapid changes and the leadership transition and all of that, and I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. Tonight, we're going to highlight some of the things in 2024, and first and foremost is the leadership transition that I mentioned, but to also talk about the 41-year legacy that our outgoing Lila Gordon left for us, and she has set us up for success, and 2024 was just a banner year where we had plenty of opportunities to really acknowledge all of her accomplishments and her contributions. And many of you were at the parade where she was the Grand Marshal, and also one of the highlights that, of everybody here at the board and for myself was when in October, when we announced the renaming of the center stage to the Lila Gordon Theater. In 2024, we also had 5 of our staff members who received Outstanding Performance Awards. I will go through some of the highlights in the pillars of the strategic plan, what we're presently pursuing in capital projects, as well as some of the physical space revamping that are happening very soon in this summer that I will talk about. But in the highlights, I want to talk about what we accomplished really in 2024, right around the time that this time last year, we were in the thick of the energy utilization improvement project. You'll hear about some of the cost savings that we will be achieving this year, and it's very, very impressive. We replaced the elevator to my right over there. That's a 45-year elevator that was in need of replacement, so we completed that in 2024. We accomplished the UVA Community Survey, also in summer of 2024, and the findings were reported out earlier this year in January. I talked about the renaming of the Lila Gordon Theater, the expansion of the footprint of the Reston Multicultural Festival that has been very well received and absolutely just amazing under Maggie Parker's purview. That festival has, I think, over 5,000 attendees this past September. So, and I'm expecting it's going to grow even more this year. We grew our summer concert series. We added 1 more series. Last year we had 5, and this year we have 6 summer series. The program participation increased by more than 20%, and there's an infographic that you will see in the slide deck that will show where some of those increases happened. We redesigned the media output. There's now a very populated blog that we have that we've been socialized in LinkedIn, and it's garnered a lot of attention, and I would highly suggest that you kind of take a look at it because it has stories about the instructors, about our staff. It's sort of like a little in-depth look at our team that you don't typically would be able to read if you don't talk to one of us. So I think that's a really great ad in terms of our communication products. And then, of course, last but not least, our CAPA reaccreditation efforts concluded just last month when we wrapped up the site visit, and I will report out on that as well. We will do an overview of the capital planning and budgets, and then take some public input, and then our Board of Governors will give direction to staff to develop our FY27 budget. Some of the highlights in the partnerships and collaboration, we have 46 partnerships and 17 sponsorships. It's a core foundation of what we do to help support all the community organizations and the community to succeed where our visions and missions align. The continuing collaboration that we have in Ruston Opportunity Neighborhood with Cornerstones. Just this Saturday, I attended the Crescent Community Day, and it was a wonderful event where I really got to meet the programmers in those communities and really see all the partners and really see how One Fairfax has been really ingratiated in our community, and the different partners. Gwen who's sitting right here with us, we were just noticing the amount of support and the community that has come together to support our Ruston Opportunity Neighborhoods communities, and it was really heartwarming to see. Some of the highlights that started in 24 and really picked up in 2025 was engaging with the Hunters Woods Neighborhood Coalition and addressing all the security concerns and expanded support for our unhoused neighbors. So that is something that we're very proud of, and we'll be talking about in the coming, actually, when I report out on the calendar year 25, a lot of those strategies will be shared with you. And then, of course, some of the outstanding achievements that we have with our staff, and some of the awards that we've submitted and won in the past year. With regards to the strategic plan pillars, the highlights are the energy utilization project, the utility savings that we were capturing. This is the first year that we actually the CMTA company that implemented the project is tracking our energy utilization, and we are on track to save 38% from the utilities consumption, and was also one of the top facility in the county that is one of the best facilities in the county of like 12 that has gone through these energy utilization improvements, and we are achieving some of the top metrics for capturing all the energy consumption. So we're very proud of that. In terms of equity, our aquatics department has been conducting the women-only swim programs. And in 2024, I think we conducted eight of those. And in addition to that, our aquatics team has taken CPR training classes out into those sites. So those are some of the aquatics equity programs. In addition, I think there's a ton of content that is provided in the center stage or the Lila Gordon Theater now with PD's Professional Touring Artist Series. So in terms of community connections, we actually started the rental of the RCC on wheels, and this year we've been implementing that and really socializing and bring that into the community. With programs and services, can you back one more? In programs and services, you can see the infographics up there in terms of our participation numbers. There's some really impressive one with the OLLI participation went up like 200%. Youth and teen event participation, which I'm so happy to see, went up by 27%. anything that has to do with youth and teen that trends up is a huge win for us because it's very hard demographics to reach. Summer camp enrollment up 9%. Lifelong participation, that went down by 2%, but we have put in place and are implementing strategies to get that up in terms of the trips and participation and creating more opportunities for people to participate in those trips. And of course, you know, fitness and wellness participation has just really gone upward since COVID. And that's a really, I think we can even accommodate more, we can even do more, but with the space limitations, we're actually, based on the community survey results, we're launching a few pilot programs this fall and expanding those programs into the early mornings because from the community survey findings, it shows that there is a demand for that. And so we'll be implementing that very soon as well. Looking ahead, the strategic plan that we're currently in right now is in its last year in 2026. So it's a really interesting year as I kind of like really look at it. We're wrapping up one strategic plan, but then we're also launching the community engagement for the very next one. So in looking forward in FY26, for this year, we'll be kind of closing out and finishing up all the goals that we have for the current strategic plan, and then next year it'll be a really busy year in terms of finishing up that plan and starting the new one. I talked about the Hunters Woods being on target to reduce our energy consumption by 38% and slated for it to be the most efficient county facility with a natatorium with only 2 or 3 buildings out of the 12 that has more efficient. And one of them actually was a geothermal renovation at Spring Hill that was also built by CMTA. So we're very, very proud of that. RCC on Wheels, we're expected to take delivery of that in late summer. Right now, we're still slated to have that delivered in August or September of this year. This summer, we'll be completing several projects that will be really changing the physical space, the look and feel of the building, and that includes the Hunters Woods and the Lake Ann lobby redesign. A lot of the racks that when you walk in that has the brochures and things like that, more and more we're moving away from the hard copies and the prints. So the lobby redesign will have a much more kind of modern and digital feel to it. The office space redesign that's also being executed this summer will give the staff space a fresher look. Those office furnishings has been there since the 90s. And so we're very looking forward to sort of feeling more reinvigorated with more modern and more updated office space. And then both of our bathroom renovations are happening also this summer. It'll be staggering so that not both of them are out of commission all at once. We'll go through phase by phase so that it doesn't impact our operations and our programs. With respect to Rest On, with Opportune Neighborhoods efforts, we are still expanding content and programs there. But one program that Lila really started out last year that is coming into fruition very shortly in July is the implementation of the Cornerstones RCC pilot Rest On member card. And what that card will do, it will completely remove the eligibility barriers. And so if they are already an Opportunity Neighborhood client, they will become come into our system with fee waivers already approved without having to go through another layer. And it's a pilot program with RCC, but what we're envisioning is that eventually other community organizations will be joining on to be a part of that. in leisure learning as well as offsite collaboration, arts and culture, and aquatics, we're really looking at data-driven information to evaluate and refresh and expand RCC Leisure's time menu of offerings. We've already started doing that. Aquatics has been adding, programs and content as they see the demand growing and able to pivot very quickly. Or in February and March, when we went through a community input activity, and there were programs that were voiced at the time that they wanted us to explore, we were able to implement those already. So those are the kind of things that I think I'm very excited about in terms of making sure that we're evaluating, assessing, and implementing programs at a much quicker pace. Expanding marketing tools and staffing support for media outreach. RCC on Wheels is going to be an amazing tool for us to take out into the community in terms of learning from our community what we want, and also to show the community what we're offering. So that is going to be an expanded marketing tool that I'm very happy about. And then in terms of the next step of the reaccreditation, we had a preliminary results that was already provided to us after the site review, and we achieved 100% standards, and thanks to Brian Gannon, who's our accreditation specialist who's sitting back there, who shepherded that whole process. This September, we will be attending the NRPA conference where they will be acknowledging RCC at their best of the best awards, and then also bestow the reaccreditation onto our agency as well. So with that, we're going to move on to the overview of the capital projects, and I will hand that over to our Treasurer, Paul Thomas.
Thank you, Bibi. All right, so first of all, thank you very much for being here. By the way, one thing I do want to highlight in that impressive list of things that RCC has accomplished and is planning for the future, the card for the Restaurant Opportunities neighborhood, I need to emphasize the importance of this. The people who are, where their kids are getting free reduced price meals, they are going to the food pantry, they're coming here and getting fee waivers, like they're doing all these different things. And every time they have to keep re-qualifying for whatever program it is that they're really entitled to. And especially now in the current federal context, the amount of nervousness around that is heightened. And so I just want to sort of champion the importance of that project, because getting that going can really help to get the services to people who really need them and have them really coming to them. So kudos to RCC for doing that. All right, now, so we've heard a lot about what RCC has accomplished and what a lot of the plans are. What I want to walk through is some of the funding behind all of this. So first of all, we have an outline of the principles that we use as a board for doing our budget development. We work on basically a 3-year planning cycle. We lay everything out for both the operating costs and the planning for the capital expenditures as well. And we have to go through a lot of hoops to make sure that we get all of that accomplished. Some of the things that we're trying to accomplish with our budget, certainly operational excellence, providing really great services to the people of Tax District 5. Also making sure that we maintain high quality facilities. And we might have to also expand those facilities, also really, really important. And of course, we have a lot of constraints, whether it's around the expenditures, the amount of money that we get to do this, or other requirements from the community. So those are some of the priorities that go into the way we develop our budget. Next up. So we have each of these, we have 2 slides. There we go, thank you. So we have 2 slides with information about projects that have been going on. These lay out the 3-year capital improvement and capital maintenance project plans for the agency. This summer's projects will update the look and feel of the physical spaces, mainly here at Hunters Woods, for staff and patrons. A few highlights of that: new lobby display systems and new office furnishings that BB mentioned for staff. They'll be part of the space redesign that will really give RCC an updated look. And these furniture systems have not been replaced for about 30 years, so it's about time for them to be replaced. The bathrooms are going to be renovated, and there's also going to be a nursing pod that is available sort of back over on that side of the building, and that will be available both for staff and for patrons. And so having that is obviously critical for all the community here, also important for ADA compliance. Important to note that the columns here don't include project budgets for those, for everything that's already been completed. Some of the key ones are in here. Because I know this thing changed quickly. So you'll notice that the energy improvement project is in there. That certainly was the biggest thing that we've done over the past couple of years. Basically, we had a lot of systems that had to be replaced anyway, and we took that opportunity to also make a lot of efficiency changes that we know will be coming back. We really have only completed it at the end of last calendar year, and so we are starting to collect data so that we can actually report back. I'm hoping that by next year's public hearing, I'll have some really solid details on what the savings look like, and month by month, both sort of in percentages, which are nice. I'm a math teacher, so I like those, but also just raw numbers. It's nice to see, okay, how much are we saving per year, and we'll have a better sense of that about a year from now. So you can see that on slide 7 and 8. And you can see some of the things that have been completed, as well as ones that are still either in process or still planning. So some of the things that are still in process, saw that the restroom reno has been talked about, display systems, but also some other smaller things. This coming year, the budget for fiscal year 26 is, I think, one of the smallest capital projects plans that we've had for a while, but that's because we've been doing a lot recently. Moving on to slide 9. So what we have here, and I know it's a lot of numbers, but you have the handouts in front of you so you can look at them with some more detail. So just to go over, these 3 columns are for the completed years. So here we've got the most recently completed ones where we can see both the revenues that have come in, the expenditures for both operating stuff, as well as the capital projects that are in here as well. And then the piece that I'm always particularly interested in are the fund balances at the bottom. So you can see where the reserves are, and so how those ending fund balances, the 9 million, 10.6, and 12.2, how those split out into our different reserve funds. By the way, needless to say, none of these they're not actually like separate accounts or anything. All these funds just sort of exist on ledger books. And so we keep these funds here so we can keep track of how much do we have in these virtual pockets to work from. Moving on to fiscal year 25 through 27. The fiscal year 25 results won't be available until mid-July. So here we just sort of see the plan. So we don't have the actuals for fiscal year 25. After carryover expenses are posted, which generally happens in October, after Board of Supervisor approval of carryover, the budgets and our monthly reports will be aligned with our fiscal year 26 expectations. Notable items we plan to submit in our carryover package are encumbrances for incomplete fiscal year 25 purchases and adjustments to tax revenue and expenses, such as the additional security costs for an armed officer of roughly about $100,000 per year. Some new personnel costs existing from added programs that we really learned about through the community survey that was done with the help of the team from UVA, as well as increase in credit card fees. So we could see a lot of that in the fiscal year 25 stuff. As noted, the cap for the capital projects reserve line increased in fiscal year 24, I think it was. The board and staff anticipate that RCC will need to expand its facility footprint soon due to the unmet demand we've already experienced for our visual arts and fitness and wellness studio programs at RCC, especially at RCC Lake Ann. In addition, that facility is a leased facility with a date certain for RCC to either own or vacate in 2039. So that date, I know it sounds like it's really far off in the distance. It's really around the corner for those of us who are doing the fiscal planning. We are aware of the increasing population we're serving, and so facility expansion may happen in a variety of ways, either enlarge on our RCC Lake Ann footprint or locate space elsewhere, either in addition to RCC Lake Ann or to replace RCC Lake Ann. So either we expand on what's at Lake Ann or we look somewhere else to either augment it or to get something that's bigger. Whatever the case, we used a current construction figure of about $450 per square foot and a range of 13,000 to 18,000 square feet to consider the right capital project reserve ceiling number and set that at $7 million. So the cap used to be $3.5 million, and now we've moved that up to $7 million. We want to make sure that we are prepared for this impending drain on our resources. This imperative to plan for expansion based on existing arts and cultural programming demand was a prime driver for our interest in the exploration of the arts venue occasioned by the Boston Properties proffer for that purpose at their planned development on the north side of the Reston Town Center station. So just if you're thinking about that spot where that pretty green building is that has the Matchbox cars outside of it, you know what I'm talking about. So right near there is going to be an arts facility. So a thing about those last 4 entries in the ledger. So those RCC funds. First, of course, we allocate our funds to operating and capital costs for the current year. After that, the balance of remaining funds is allocated to reserve accounts in the order of maintenance, that's 12% of revenue, feasibility studies, 2% of revenue, capital projects up to the cap that I just mentioned of $7 million, and then anything extra from that goes into program and economic contingency funds for the remaining balance. And that piece, you'll notice that we are starting to sort of spend that down because that exists exactly for the current fiscal climate that we're in. When the county's budgets start to get tighter, a lot of other county agencies have to tighten their belts and lay off staff, and they're cutting 7% of their staff cutting from budgets, but we're able to write out some of those at least for a little while, as long as it's short-lived, thanks to that economic and contingency reserve. So that's the purpose of that, and that is it is currently doing exactly its intended purpose. The proposed fiscal year 27 outline does not include information that has not yet been delivered to us from the county, such as estimated tax revenue for the coming year, personnel expenses associated with cost of living adjustments, or performance increases. So we look forward to getting the fiscal year 25 year-end actuals on July 21st of this year. So that will be coming very soon. So now I'll turn this back over to Vivi.
So that is our report for tonight, and now it's time for us to hear from you. So Catherine, if you can let me know who have signed up to speak. Please be sure to identify yourself, your address if you are speaking as an individual, or your organization if you're representing an organization. And please allow everyone to get their first question asked before coming back with further questions. So please use the microphone that's in the middle of the room right there. And
all right, Robert, you're first.
Robert.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
What's the last name, Catherine?
You're
Robert Gowdy.
Gowdy.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, I'm Robert Gowdy, Executive Director of the Reston Town Center Association, one of apparently 46 community partners I'm learning tonight that you're working with. And on behalf of one of them, I'm not here to make a request, but really to say thank you. As I was listening to Bibi go through those incredible slides, I was going back channeling my 16th century John Donne in his sonnet, "A man, read human, is not an island." I know if that sounds a little weird to do a little John Donne tonight, stay with me. But I think we can all agree that was fundamentally at the core of Bob Simon's vision in founding and building this community. But you can envision a community and build a community, but you have to keep it. And to keep it requires cultivation. And I was thinking as Beverly was narrating that beautiful little video, those two characteristics that you identified so appropriately as connector and catalyst in the community, I'd add a third C, cultivator. If I think about just what you're doing together with us in Town Center, I think about the Friday Jazz Happy Hours with Darden and Friends. I think about our Saturday morning family fun entertainment series. I think about our Sunday Shenandoah Conservatory concerts, the only concerts that the nationally renowned Shenandoah Conservatory do outside of Shenandoah. If I think about Silent Dance that we just did last Wednesday with Latanja, and over 200 people in the park, unbridled joy. If I think about the multicultural festival that you mentioned, Bibi, but understated, our numbers in Town Center suggest there were 10,000 people that came through last year. And it's because together we expanded that festival to now have 3 performance venues throughout Town Center. If I think about your terrific partnership with us on returning Broadway to the park, here in the park, if I think about the holiday parade, if I think about your co-partnership with us in making the Tefra ICA Festival so vital, which brought 40,000 people to our community this year, and I could go on, but I'd run out of time, and that would be a disservice to everyone. But that is impressive, and I know that I am not alone. I know that you're putting the same kind of energy and effort with your partners at Lake Ann, with your partners with Comstock and Wheelie, Reston East, what you're doing here at this facility and at your Lake Ann facility. And so yes, truly, a man, read human, is not an island. And here in Reston, in part, that is because of what you are doing as cultivator of this community. So I'm here to say thank you, and in doing that, especially want to call out staff led by you, Bibi. I just want all of you to know that it's a privilege for me to benefit from your professionalism, your care, and your expertise. We're all lucky in this community to have you. Thank you. Keep being the cultivator that you are. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Next,
Please state your name and your address.
So good evening everyone. My name is Shamla. I was here in the month of March. In the month of March I was proposing Aqua Yoga to all the patrons, all the members present here, and my program was approved. So I want to thank the aquatics team led by Matt McCall and his team to be so supportive. The program is on now. I started May 4th and it's been ongoing. It's being offered on Sundays, 7:30 to 8:15. So I take this opportunity to promote this Aqua Yoga to all of you. Please go ahead and spread this program amongst your family and friends. And I'm also wanting to offer more classes, so just taking this opportunity to talk about Aqua Yoga. Thank you so much.
Do we have any other speakers, Catherine?
the other Robert.
Robert.
I have a couple questions. That's my lot in life, to ask questions. So, two quick,
Can you speak closer to the mic?
okay, two quick and hopefully answerable questions. how do you intend to use the mobile facility? I know it's been in the works for at least a couple of years, and it's wonderful that you're finally, taking delivery. I'm just curious beyond marketing, like DoorDash or whatever, showing up around the community, how you're going to actually use it. And the second question is, I noticed this evening that this is being videoed. Has provision been made to stream this so people who are at other meetings this evening would have the opportunity to hear what's been going on and what you plan to do? So I'll leave it at that for the moment.
Thank you for those questions, Robert. We're very excited about the RCC on Wheels. I think this summer, the last few months, with the rental van that we've been using, we have pretty much, I think the wrap, as you can see, and I've been getting a lot of texts with different community members telling me they see my picture on the bus tails of the connector. So it's been very exciting. I think we're building that excitement and we're building the anticipation. Maggie Parker we did a huge sort of an all hands with all the programming departments, and the amount of excitement and the amount of cross-departmental that is happening with the RCC on Wheels makes my heart sing, because we're talking everything from fitness to Maggie. Sure. I mean, there is no shortage of ideas. It's a matter of we're trying to find a way that we can bring programs that doesn't add extra cost to take it out to the community, and then making sure that we have all the permissions to go into those community and bring the content there, and having the right content for the right community is what has been communicated to us as being critically important. We don't want to just take a stab in the dark and just bring something that community doesn't want or need. We're really trying to strategically look to see, what that community wants and connect it to the specific programs that we know that will be well attended, will be interactive and engaging, because we don't want to just kind of, do something that isn't well received. The second part of your question is about, I'm sorry, streaming. All right. Chris Higgins, my very intrepid and absolutely brilliant genius NTA network telecom analyst. If you look around the community room right now, all of those white plates are all access points that we've been upgrading and adding to the facility. There are things that we can't change. It's a brick building. So we're really amping up the amount of bandwidth that we have and access points, but there's still, what do you call those, like dead zones, where there's still spotty spots that if you take your phone in, there's no bars. So, we can't commit to a live streaming capability to deliver our content or public meetings like this, but trust me, when we're really challenging ourselves and taking it to the next step as quickly as possible. We've done that down even into the underground areas, because all of the systems that we upgraded with the energy utilization all need, software updates and all of that. So the network has been continuously upgraded. We're not where we want to be yet, but I feel like we're edging very, very close to it. So thank you for that. Right. Yes. So Babka, our videographer, do record these meetings, and it's typically posted to our YouTube page the very next day. So please encourage your friends and neighbors to tune in into our YouTube channel if they want to hear it and couldn't attend tonight. We have any other speaker, Catherine?
No, not signed up.
Anybody else feel moved or would like to provide some input?
I'm Charlotte Skinner. I'm a community member. I wanted to ask a question. I didn't know what the OLLI, O-L-L-I program was, but I did have a question regarding, I don't know if that has to do with language studies, but I did wonder sort of what to expect in the planning over the next couple of years in terms of just like language classes and the focus on that. I feel like I've seen a bit fewer of those over the years for certain languages. I know it can be hard to retain instructors, but just anything about that, I'd be curious. Thanks.
The OLLI program is our Osher Lifelong Learning Institute that is a great partner with George Mason University. We have been doing that for at least a decade, and that program and that partnership has just continues to grow and grow and grow. They're under new leadership right now. I believe they have a new executive director. So I don't see, I mean, that's just one of the most successful partnership and programs that RCC has. In terms of language programs, we have been hearing about that more. There are some, the county has some providers that does do that, but if there's something specific that you're looking for, please talk to our customer service desk. We have a program recommendation form that if there's specific needs, because we really take those input and implement them, just as you've heard from our Aqua Yoga instructor who's now providing those content. So when the community provide us those needs and those input, we explore them and then we in turn offer them. But we do have a sort of a long lead time in terms of planning, as you can imagine. You have to make sure the budget is there, the personnel, and finding the right instructor for the program. So, yes, please.
Hi, my name is Glenn, and I live in Reston at Southgate. And I was just curious, hearing when you talked about language classes, do you know if there's much need for GED education in this community? And if so, are you offering anything along that line?
I believe the school system does offer the GED programs. If that's a resource that you need, if you when you walk out, please leave us. I think we have your contact information, and one of myself or one of my team members can send that on. But we know that there are GED programs that are offered throughout the county. Well, I am so thankful that you made the time to come out in the rain to attend tonight's public hearing. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I look forward to seeing you back and participating in our programs and services. So, thank you very much.